Dato Simon, you are an engineer by profession and
Yes.
graduated from the world-renowned Imperial College of London, where you obtained a first-class honours degree. Besides that, you also bagged the Sir Bruce White Award. Could you tell us a little bit about that experience, the Imperial College experience, and share that with us a little bit?
Okay. Imperial College is a world-renowned institution in the sense that it actually has won a lot of awards. Most of the professors inside are not only teachers or lecturers, they are also readers as well as what they call researchers and scientists. And most people want to go into Imperial because of the intense training that we get there. If I'm not mistaken from memory, the normal hours that a student would do is about 36 hours, I think, a week. In Imperial, you do 1.5 times of that, meaning very few holidays. On Wednesday, where everybody takes a break, half day, you'll be doing your projects. Non-stop projects, grilling you, teaching you every aspect of engineering and their application. So that's life in Imperial. Not really what we would call university life,
Right.
you know. Yeah.
Okay. Could you briefly share a little bit about Smart Niche Group? I understand it is a joint venture of two companies.
Yes.
You might want to explain a little bit about the partners involved.
Okay. Smart Niche Group is basically formed by two good friends. One is Dato, Dr. Colin Lee and myself. We are both old friends for more than 10 years. And earlier when he built his Sutra Pines Medical Center, I was actually his advisor, an engineer, you know, he's a doctor. Now on my side, how from telecommunication engineering, I went into development and construction. You see, when I came back, there wasn't much opportunity for telecommunication. We were like at least 10 years behind time. Maxis was binariang then, right? I went to apply for a job as a telecommunication engineer. All you have available for you really is to become a system engineer.
Okay.
Sounds good, but actually what it means really is just maintenance. Just look at the screen, you know, and that's it. It's really boring. And for what I did back in England, to come back and do what we would do here is actually going backward. So I went into the construction industry, natural, because engineer, you know.
Okay.
And from construction, I went into development, because development eventually was something that I always wanted to do. Construction is not sustainable in terms of its business model, you know, and development is sustainable. Today, the combination of these two persons, Colin and myself, all right, we are diversified in the sense that his training and my training are very different, but we have very similarities as well. So in Smart Niche, it is something like that. We have got two shareholders who have got totally different background in training, and we also have town planner with us in our group. My other right-hand man partner is a QS, quantity surveyor, and it's a very diversified group. And we have also bankers in the group as well, who are senior management members and having some shareholding. Yeah, so that is Smart Niche.
Dato, tell us a little bit about your challenges and what do you think your biggest challenges for 2016 are going to be like?
In my personal opinion, 2016 is going to be a very slow year. I think not only in Malaysia, but across the world. There's a lot of uncertainties, a lot of fear, and people will usually, human nature, hold back on spending. So as developers, we will struggle on a few things. Number one, looking for the right category of buyers who has the means to spend and to get them to spend it on our projects rather than other people's projects. Number two, to screen the buyers who are capable of obtaining loan. Of course, the last one is always funding. You find a piece of land, you need to get the right structure of funding to fund the project. Too much gearing is no good. Too little gearing, also no good. So it's a balance. So that will be the third challenge we would have this year.
Wow, that's very in-depth.
Yep.
You're the first person I've asked this question to who's told me this, by the way. We're going to talk a little bit about Sutra Pines now.
Yep.
Why the name Sutra Pines, and what makes it different from any other development?
Okay. Sutra Pines basically means Sutra is mirrored after the highway, Silk Highway. Silk in Bahasa Malaysia is Sutra. All right? Pines happens to be my partner's father's name in Mandarin. Songshu in Mandarin means pine tree. So that's how we came up with the name Sutra Pines. And because many developments like to use palm trees, palm is very common, twin palms, this palm, that palm, you know. And pine trees are quite rarely used. So with that, we came up with the name Sutra Pines. What's so special about Sutra Pines? When we first went to the land, the first thing we discovered was the fresh air. You know, we were looking for a development, a land, you know, that is very near to the city, and yet not in the city itself, due to the jam. This development is the first condo development in that area. No one has built condos there, so we felt that it was a right time to build a condo. It was only a few minutes away from Sungai Long, and we believed that this place would grow. And today, we are not at the edge of an old development. We are now at the center, thanks to thanks to Sutera and EcoWorld, who have developed a few thousand acres in Semenyih, with the highway and the flyover that Sutera has built. From here, Sutra Pines, to Sutera Eco Hill is barely 11 minutes.
Wow.
This so-called economic generating power, you know, will just boom this place.
Could you kindly elaborate on the location for Sutra Pines and explain a little bit about the accessibility of the project and why Sungai Long?
Okay. Our location is very central today as compared to say 10-20 years ago. With the highways that's already been built and to be built, this place will be extremely accessible from KL or from PJ side. Current highways are Silk Highway and Pintasan Kajang Semenyih and the Lekas Highway. That highway will link us to Semenyih, to KL, and also now back to Cheras. So it's very, very central now. Compared to say 20 years ago, we didn't have all these highways. It's a very different ball game and location altogether. Now with EKVE coming in by end of 2019. Now why Sungai Long? Sungai Long is very central today, not only because of accessibility. There is this factor of Utah being parked there. It's actually 3 campuses merged into one. If I'm not mistaken, it's PJ, Star Park, and Sungai Long, all now merged into one Sungai Long. Target students, population is 10,000. Can you imagine 10,000 students, what it would do to this area? First, it will create traffic jam, which is why the government has to plan for this traffic problem.
Dato, what do you think that the outlook for 2016 will be like for the property industry?
In my opinion, 2016 will be a year of uncertainty. A year that will be slow. Most people will be thinking twice before they spend money, either on properties or on many other big items, big ticket items. My opinion is that in any crisis, all right, there is opportunity. So as individuals, we have to know how to find the jewel, you know, in the midst of crisis. So 2016 will be a challenging year, not only for developers, I would say, but for the majority of the industries. That's what I feel.
What strategy would you be utilizing if the economy and the property market remains as sluggish as it was last year?
Okay, 2 things we would do as very commonsensical. Number 1 is we would delay our launches. All right, we are not an organization whereby we are pressured to launch for the sake of launching. Maybe certain organizations where the overheads are high. Number 2, they have got shareholders to report to. They have to maintain quarterly profits. But in our case, we are not in that situation. So we can delay our launches, that's 1. Or we can divide our launches into phases. Instead of one big phase, divide into a few phases. And number 3, we can change the product entirely. Dato Alan Tong, our Sunrise founder, which we call the father of, who we call the father of condo, always say, listen to the ground. What does the people in the market want you develop? Many developers, including ourselves, have done this before. when the recession comes, I think Sutera back in the late 90s during the recession, they changed all their development from 3-story or double-story terraces or semi-detached into single-story terrace houses. Uda did the same thing back in the late 90s. We would do the same thing according to what the market demands at that point in time. But at this juncture, we don't see us needing to do that, because this year, majority of our work would be completion of Sutra Pines, completion of our other shop house development, and doing planning works, meaning DO, BP, building plan approvals, development order approvals. Those things will take time.
So, to sum up our discussion today, can you share with us any insight that you might have so that our audience can learn something from your vast experience?
Okay, well, I would say again and again, for two categories of people. First category are students, studying and coming up to work. My advice is, number one, don't go for your highest paying job as your first job. Learn. Even though the pay is bad, learn. Learn from me. I had a 4,000 paying job offered to me on my first job in Malaysia. I took the one that paid me the least, $1,800 per month. The reason why I took it, I had two bosses. One is a telecom scholar. One is a rank and file. He stopped studying at the age of 14, but he became a millionaire when he was 20. I told myself I have to learn from this man. Right? I've learned everything I could from school, from the best institution, but this guy is very unique. He was 37 years old when I worked for him.
Thank you so much, Dato. It was a
Welcome.
very interesting conversation, and I would like to thank you so much.
You're welcome.
For all of this. I learned so much today.
Thank you.
Thanks.